Well, they had their chances, like 9 of them, with runners in scoring position, did not get a hit on a 1. As we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance, Ricky Pitalico, Ruben Amaro Jr., John Kruk in a moment. And this one is a 5-1 loss. I thought they were going to go 162-0.
You were close.
That's dashed today, but I'll have to get a grip. But Ricky Bo, Aaron Nola fell victim again to the home run ball twice. And then they don't get hits when they need to.
He left a couple pitches over the plate. There's no doubt about that. I mean, the bigger problem with Aaron Nola was there was guys on base before he gave up those home runs. He gave up a 3-run homer and a 2-run homer. One of them was a fastball that he just, I'm not really sure what he was. I guess he didn't want it to come back over the plate. It did to Josh Bell. He hits out of the ballpark. And then Lowe just, he just, caught one and hit one out to right field. But my whole thing here is it's not just about pitching. It's not just about that. I mean, you look at the Phillies, you just brought up the 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. This was like a bad dream from last year to me. And it was a bad dream in a sense that this didn't happen all the time. But when you heard about the Phillies having a bad game, what was the first thing that always brought up? Runners in scoring position, a big goose egg with runners in scoring position. But it wasn't just that. They didn't have an extra base hit. I mean, this is a team that was bashing the ball around for 2 days in a row and then all of a sudden comes out against a weak Mitchell Parker that ends up going six and a third without giving up an earned run. That, to me, is a little puzzling, how you let a guy like that off the hook who you absolutely crushed in a game, I believe it was last year, and then you can't touch him today. It's a little strange to me.
The tough thing about the Aaron Nola effort is that, he's kind of cruising through. He gets to the 4th inning. He gets the first 2 outs very quickly. I think he threw like
4 pitches.
4 or 5 pitches,
Yeah.
Gets 2 outs. And then he spins a breaking ball that hits, that ends up hitting Kyber Ruiz on the toe. I mean, you talk about a game of inches. And then things just sort of blew up. Bang, bang, bang. Now they're down, 3-0. Ended up giving up another home run. And as Ricky said, I mean, one of the things that Aaron Nola does, he does give up home runs. He gave up about 30 of them last year. But he typically will give up a home run like with not too many guys on base. In this case, he gave up a big 3-run home run, and that can take the sails out of the ball club. But they have to have better at-bats. Had too many double play situations when they had chances to score runs. Marchand in one instance, and also Alec Boehm, who had actually hit the ball pretty hard a couple of times prior to that, but then hits into a big double play when they have chances, and then at the end of the game they don't capitalize on opportunities. And unfortunately, when you're not capitalizing on those opportunities, you throw a goose egg up there, and they only get that 1 run.
Let's go down to D.C., check in with John Kruk for the crossover presented by Chapman Auto Stores. John, Ricky was just mentioning last year the Phillies worked over Mitchell Parker. Today he works them over. You got to score runs, obviously, in the game. They got 1, but then Aaron Nola, we expected more from. We were talking so glowingly about him in the pregame. Where was this one lost, John?
When Josh Bell hit the 3-run homer, to be honest with you, but I mean, Aaron was just cruising along, and I heard Ruben say, he hits Ruiz with a breaking ball, Lowe gets a base hit, Bell hits a 3-run homer, and it was so quick. I mean, he was rolling up until then. Pitch count was great. He's throwing a lot of strikes. He was getting a lot of soft outs, and then next thing you know, it's 5-0 after. After a couple more innings, and you're like, where in the hell did that come from? But give the Nationals credit. They capitalized when they had opportunities, and the Phillies had a ton of opportunities, and they didn't capitalize.
John, when you look at something like today, I mean, you were hitting the ball well. Two nights in a row, you were swinging the bat well. All of a sudden, you come in here. I mean, you do have 8 hits on the day. No extra base hits, though. I mean, what would the feel be in the clubhouse after this?
Well, hopefully they just chalk it up to some bad luck. Alec Boehm hit a couple balls hard. The last out he hit really hard. But the thing you look at is they had really good swings to get on base, and then not good swings when they had men on base. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. And give the Nationals defense credit. Paul DeYoung turned that double play. That was a good play. He had to back up on the ball. and made a nice strong throw to second base to get that double play. So, the Marlins made plays. They came up with clutch hits, and the Phillies didn't come up with anything clutch today.
John, what's your theory on swinging the bat with runners in scoring position as far as swinging early in the count? I know as a pinch hitter, I swung early in the count, looked for a fastball, and when you're coming off the bench, it's one thing. When you're an everyday player, is that a thought process? Do you think about, let's get the first pitch that I like to see and take a whack at it? Because they've hit some balls hard in those situations. They just couldn't capitalize.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's always a big thing. Why would you swing at the first pitch? Well, if you hit a ball in the gap, everyone's thinking, wow, he's aggressive. And then if you hit into a double play on the first pitch or, second pitch, whatever, of the at-bat, then he's got to take more pitches. You're never going to make everyone happy. I always thought with runners in scoring position, I know that the last thing that the pitcher wanted to do was get behind and put me in a good hitting situation. But I was always aggressive on the first pitch just because of that reason that, he's not going to pitch around me. He's going to have to challenge me. He wants to get ahead in the count. And, I would swing early in the first pitch. But, you can't get jammed. You can't hit a rollover. And trust me, we've all done it. On the first pitch, you get a first pitch fastball, your eyes light up. But, if you roll over that thing or pop it up, then you're like, God, that was a really bad at bat. But, you catch one out front, you hit one in the gap and drive in a couple runs, and it was the greatest swing ever.
John, two-part question. Number one, what was the most times in a row that you struck out? And have you ever seen anything like this, 8 in a row?
Man, I felt so bad for him. Once the Nationals had that 5-run lead, I thought, a rollover grounder to third or something, you feel bad for the young man, but, lo and behold, he struck out again. I struck out 4 times in a postseason game, so at one point that was a National League record, and I was proud to have it. It meant a lot to me to strike out that many times. And, knowing that my career was, starting to dwindle down to the end, and I thought, well, let me just try to get in the record books. And John Smoltz struck me out 4 times, and but we won the game, so I didn't really give a darn. But 8 times, my goodness, I don't know. I've never. I hope I've never come close to that. I felt so bad for him.
It's bad too because Dylan Cruz is eating that right now because it's not over.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
He's at 8 and it's ongoing.
Yeah, that's what's scary. Again, you can tell he's up there just grinding too. And the hardest thing to do is, it's easy to strike out. It happens, but the hardest thing to do, I think, as a hitter is when you're struggling like that and you're struggling to make contact is going up there praying you don't strike out.
You got to care less.
Pray, you got to pray to get a hit. Now he's praying to just put it in play. And, it's Sunday, and sadly the prayers weren't answered for him. But, hopefully, I'm going to check the box scores next time they play just to see if he,
he got one.
Continues this streak or does something. Hopefully he gets a base hit and ends this thing for him because he's a fine young player. It's just this is a rough stretch for him.
John, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at home as the home schedule opens up. Thanks for joining us postgame, my friend.
Okay,
We'll check
see
you
all
tomorrow. John Kruk in the booth in D.C. as the Phillies open it up tomorrow. Yeah, Dylan Cruz is probably eating his heart out right now, but so are the Phillies as they drop the 3rd game of the season 5-1.
That last home run, I think that was a 2-seamer that he was trying to run away, and it just he flattened out. I mean, sometimes those pitches don't have the bite on them. Sometimes they didn't move. That was the one that didn't move. And the irony about this whole thing is the Josh Bell home run, the ball moved 3 feet out over the middle of the plate. This one, he just throws down the middle, looking for it to just kind of move 6 inches to the outside corner. Ball just stays flat in the middle of the plate.
It's almost like he throws too many strikes at times because, I mean, you see his numbers. No walks, 8 strikeouts, And if he misses in the middle of the plate, that's when they can do some damage on him, and that's exactly what happened today.
But the home run ball has unfortunately been part and parcel of his career. I hate to say we have to accept it, but it's the way it is when he goes out there. And we always add the words, hopefully he'll keep him in the park tonight.
It's a little bit like, if you remember, Cole Hamels used to give up a lot of home runs as well, but he used to give up the single home run. That's because these guys throw a lot of strikes. If you throw strikes, guys are swinging and they're in swing mode. If they leave something out over the middle of the plate, they can do some damage on it.
And in reality, I think you would agree with this, is that when you're a curveball pitcher, he throws almost 33% curveballs. Sooner or later, you're going to leave one out over the plate. And I would bet if he throws 35 of them in a game, I bet you 3 of them stay out over the middle of the plate. And what do you do with those? You just backspin them. And those are the ones that you usually end up in the seats. It wasn't that way today with his curveball, but with his sinker, he tried a high sinker against Josh Bell. Ball just ends up over the middle of the plate, and the other one didn't move.
And he threw some great ones. He had that front door sinker a couple of times. He got the kid.
We were getting. Let's just put it this way: we were getting oohs
He
and
got wood a
ahs in
couple
the
of times
studio.
with him. He was outstanding. I got 2 or 3 times with that pitch, and this was just one that just got out over the plate for Bell, and Bell's sort of a Philly killer. He got us again.
Would have been the 9th time in club history that they had swept a road series to begin the season. Does not happen. What's Rob Thomson think? Here he is in D.C.
Couple just mislocated fastballs for Nola there.
Yeah, the Bell home run. Just a pitch up over the middle of the plate. First pitch heater, and he jumped on it, and then the 3-2 fastball to Lowe was pretty much right down the middle. So. But I thought Nola was good early. He was really commanding the baseball as time went on. 4th, 5th, 6th, I thought he missed some locations, but it was good. The cutter was good. It was getting in on lefties. Changeup had some depth to it, and the curveball was sharp. It's good.
With how frequently Nola's around the plate, is like the home run thing, is that just like a byproduct of being around the plate so much?
Yeah, they know that he's going to throw strikes. So.
Sosa come out of that play okay? It looked like he was.
He got spiked. Yeah, he got spiked. Schwarber got hit on the knuckle. They should be good.
Turner and JT, did you get any news on them?
Turner swung the bat and played catch during the game. We'll reevaluate tomorrow. Might give him another day, which gives him 2 days with the off day. JT should be ready to go.
Put Marsh back in there after a good day yesterday. What do you think of his at-bats?
Good. What do you do? He walked, he got a base hit.
2 walks.
2 walks. Yeah, two walks and base hits. So, yeah, look good.
Just curious, why did you go Clemens over Kepler there?
It's a good question. So Clemens has seen him before in the minor leagues, and he hits fastballs. So.
Would Kepler have gone out to left field with
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
What do you think of Castellanos' at bats too? You talked earlier today about him.
Yeah, another walk, 2-strike base hit, staying on the ball, and he's driving the ball to right center. Just really hit a couple of balls. If he's one tick away from a home run,
Could he work his way up into the lineup if he keeps kind of this approach, or
anybody could. Yeah, if they produce.
I know you're down some of your righties today, but there are 2 lefty stars in this series, like 12 plus scoreless against you, a lot of strikeouts. You know you're going to see a lot of lefty stars.
Yeah.
How do you see your lineup competing against them?
I think it'll be fun. I throw that first game out. I really did. He was on his game, and it was really difficult to see. So I think you see the numbers in the last 2 games when the guys could see pretty good as far as walks and strikeouts and pitches seen and things like that. So I'm not too concerned about it.
If Sosa ended up needing to come out in that spot, do you know how you would have
Stott would have
wanted
gone
it?
short. Clemens would have gone second.
And there was looking like, even if JT was not a guy you were looking to use, you're not using him or Kepler there to pinch it for Marchand, bases loaded, nobody out.
Because I really didn't want to use JT.
Yeah.
Kept the Phillies off balance. You saw what he did to the left-handed hitters. He had a pretty good breaking ball. And his fastball had a little jump today. And when you think about it, he comes in supposedly averaging about 92.5 miles an hour, and he's throwing 95, 96 miles an hour. It's a little bit of a culture shock on top of it. So he went from having average stuff to having pretty good stuff today.
7 hits he allows and not a run to be found. Rube, you're going to say?
I think he just trusted his fastball much more, and he threw 56% fastballs today. He typically throws like in the high 40s and then mixes it up, but he made the pitches when he had to, and the Phillies couldn't capitalize. The only guy that really had like consistently great at-bats against him, Bohm hits the balls hard against him, but the other guy was Edmundo Sosa, who seems to be contributing every time he gets an opportunity to play. But you got to give some credit to the guy, although the Phillies should have come through on some occasions when they had an opportunity.
Aaron Nola hung with the L in his season debut. Here he is in the clubhouse in Washington.
What do you take away from the start?
Honestly, I felt really good today. All my pitches felt really good. You know, a little ball up in kind of middle to Bell, but 2 guys on. Obviously, it kind of hurt, and then the 3-2 ball to Lowe was middle. I tried to go down and away with that one, and he put a really good swing on it.
Do you feel like home runs are always going to be just something you have to deal with? Is there any way you think you can better maybe avoid giving up a long ball?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I always want to try to avoid giving up the long ball because I feel like it's hurt me the past few years a lot. I mean, solo home runs is whatever. I'd rather solo home runs, but the ones that really hurt are the 3-run homers like today and the 2-run homers. So hopefully I can limit those this year and not give up as many, especially when guys on base.
But the pitch to Ruiz, what you hit his foot with, what were you trying to do with that pitch?
I think I got off page right there because I was running out of time, and so I didn't want to take a ball, and I just tried to throw something low, and it hit him. I didn't even see it hit him, but I guess it hit him in the tip of the foot.
A situation like that, is it better to take the ball there?
Yeah, probably so. And I've struggled with that the past couple of years with, especially in the windup. I try to rush a couple. I have a handful of them a year, and I do try to rush them a little bit rather than just stepping off and taking the ball. It's just hard because I don't like to give free balls away. Every pitch matters for me, and it's just I get in the mode of obviously the game, and I don't want to step off and get a free ball. So